Hello guys, welcome to Data Crafting Lab. Trust you are able to learn one or two things in my previous lesson. I really appreciate you all. In this lesson, we'll be discussing.
So we have this now. Previously, from what we learned under data validation, data validation is just very simple. For instance, when we actually use the drop down list or when we use the list, now it helps us to get a list of items just one at a time. Now for this case, let me just use this particular list of states. In this example, I'm going to be using list of states in Nigeria to express or to push this point further, but I trust either for the Nigerian student or other African student, you actually understand what I'm trying to say. But let me just give a quick recap of data validation using the drop down list. For instance, if I want to get a list from this particular list of states, in Nigeria we have 36 states, then including the federal capital it will be 37, which start from actually Abia in the alphabetical order down to Zamfara. I want to go to the last one, so I'm pressing my control, then the right arrow key takes me to Zamfara, control back left arrow key, come back to Abia. Now just a quick recap. Data validation, click on data, you see this icon. This is just the data validation. Just click on this data validation, you see any value. We have actually learned this. I want to just keep it on list. I just want to just show something. Then for the source, we can actually pick all the states. So if I click on Abia, I'm holding my shift and control now, right arrow key to highlight everything. You see everything has been captured and also fixed. Now fixed means with this kind of a dollar kind of symbol, that is what I mean by fixed. Then if I click on OK, now what it means is, let's go back again. What it means is for somewhere here, if we click on this place, we'll see the state. You see Adamawa, all the states we have. So we have about 36 states. With Abuja it will be 37. Abuja is federal capital territory of Nigeria. This is just one of the things we learn from data validation, basic knowledge. Now let's see it in a more advanced way. Now, in a more advanced way, I've actually prepared this sheet that cut across the list of states in Nigeria. So for this state one, just showing you these are the states and these are their local governments. Then if you come down, you see Adamawa, you see the local government here. After Adamawa, you see Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, and all that. For every Nigerian, we all know we have 774 local governments. So control arrow down, you see the last local government here, 774 Zumre. This should be from Zamfara state. So this is the first sheet. We can actually use it for ourselves. Then this state one, I just try to readjust it again, where I have all the local government in alphabetical order from the first one, all the list of local government, to the last one. Arrow down, control arrow down, in an alphabetical order, and their corresponding states to this side. They just sheet, so you can actually use it for yourself if you need it. I'm sending this particular sheet to us again. This is the data set. I'm sending it to us. So this state 3. Now this is it in another more structured way, and where you have the state as the first row, then underneath it we have the local government. Now one thing is very important in Nigeria. We have 36 states, like I've said. Then the state with the highest local government is Kano. Now if we just scroll down, you can just take your time to just scroll down, to scroll through. Now the state with the highest local government is Kano, that has 44. So control arrow down, you see which is the last one is Wodel. It's showing us 45 because the first row actually been occupied by the state Kano. Now and all that. Now let's see what does this actually mean, advanced data validation. Now let's see something. Now I've just shown us a basic data validation where you actually have to use data validation to bring all the states. But supposing we want to get a dependent list, such that, let's say you are working on a project, you want to pick the state of origin. I'm using state of origin in this case just for us to understand it. I will also give us a more typical example as we continue. Now, such that as I click on, let's say, state of origin, I'm working on the project. When I click on state of origin, I pick any of the state of origin. Let's say I pick Akwa Ibom. Then I want automatically, I want all the list of local governments under Akwa Ibom should come to this place. So if I click on this place, observe this is local Akwa Ibom. I actually brought everything on this particular worksheet so that we can be seeing it clearly for the start. So if I click on this place, I want to see all the list of local government. You observe we're seeing all the list of local governments under Akwa Ibom. You can click on this. The same thing if we change it again, let's say change it to any other state again, let's say Bayelsa. Now as soon as I change to Bayelsa, now all the list of local government under Bayelsa should come up. Now if I click on this local government, it will change. What was there before was the previous state. Maybe okay, think Akwa Ibom here, we pick Akwa Ibom before, but now we have changed the state of origin to Bayelsa. Now if we click on the local government, it should show us the list of local government under Bayelsa. So this is what we call the advanced data validation and drop down list. So this is how it actually works. Now let's just pick another state randomly. Let's just pick, let's say Lagos. As long as you pick Lagos, click on the local government. On this drop down list, you see all the local government you have now will be local government that pertains to Lagos. You can just pick any of the local government, and as simple as that. So this is the advanced way. Now I'm using state versus local government to explain this. Now you can also use product. For instance, if you work in let's say in a business company, you can use product versus the product type. Let's say this is a particular let's say product A, and the product types under product A, maybe you have product 1, depending on the kind of product under product A, you can use this for instance. So in that case, so this could be product 1, product 2, product 3, and they have some subcategory under them. You can actually use data at this advanced data validation, and it's quite simple. So I'm going to be showing us the practical way on how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is very simple. I'm going to copy this particular we're going to copy this particular worksheet. Everything is actually simple. You can just copy and paste. So against time, I'll copy everything. I'll tell you the ones I will delete. I've hit on this like a triangle part. Click on this to highlight all the worksheets. Control C, you see the downside end. Now let's come to a new worksheet. You can just paste it on the first one, that is cell A1. Control A. I've just copied everything, but what I will do is I will delete this data validation, what I had there before. So let me just come to this point, click outside, come back here, data validation. At this point I'll just keep it on not instead of these. I can just clear all, any value, just because we want to start from the beginning. Just do the same thing here as well. Come here, just data validation, you see it here, just click on clear all because we want to actually start from the beginning. Click on OK. So what we're gonna do is very simple. You're going to copy this is just state of origin, local government of origin, then the states. Like I said, I'm using state versus local government in this case, so yours could be product and there are sub product types, so you can actually use it. So you can copy. For the sake of clarity, I'm actually putting all the states and their sub local government on this particular sheet, but when you work in an advanced way, you don't need this here. I'm going to be doing that later on, where we don't need all this. These details will be on a particular worksheet. Worksheet. So let's start from the beginning. So the first thing is we want state of origin to be here. So what we're going to do is, after writing the state of origin, so we're going to come to data, then data validation. You see this portion, at times they can write it there for you, but just know this is data validation. Click on it. When you click on it, then click on data validation. From any value, change it to list. Now for the list, for the source is all the states we're actually working with. So click on the first one, Abia, shift and control arrow right to copy everything. You see the source here, then click on OK. Then if we click on OK, just move to the beginning. If I click on this point now, you see all my states are here now. So now the next thing I'm going to do is for this local government of origin. But one more thing is very important. Let me just control A, just to control Z rather. Now suppose you want to repeat this same formula or this function in other rows. Just what I mean by other rows is, I want it to come to that. Just before you click on it, just drag and drop. What it means is that the same thing that what applies here, where I have Adama or Akwa Ibom, I can still have it here because I've actually double click. I've actually drag and drop rather. So just take note of that. So now let's continue. This is the first one. So the second one is local government of origin. Now we're going to be using two formulas. The first one is the offset formula, while the second one is the match formula. I'm going to combine them together. But before that, I'm not going to make things complicated. Very simple so that everybody will understand. But one thing I want to say about the offset and the match formula is this: the offset is the counting method of offset. Now, what I mean by counting method, it counts the column starting from 0. So for offset, what I'm saying, I'm going to apply it shortly. That's what I want to just explain at the beginning. For offset, the counting is, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth for offset. So take note, it starts from 0. But for match, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means 0 for offset is 1 for match. 1 for offset is 2 for match, and so on and so forth. So there's a difference of 1. Take note of that. So in our formula now, you'll see we're going to make adjustments to this difference of 1. But let's just actually go into details without wasting more of our time. So I'll just click on equals to. I can just continue my formula here. I'll click on this formula bar to continue from here. So I'm going to type the offset. I'll start with offset, then open bracket. It's showing us reference. Now the reference just means the starting point of your the starting point. Now in this case, the starting point of what we're actually working with is this first state, which is actually Abia, which is the starting point. So the reference just means the starting point. So I'll click on Abia. Then because it can be dynamic, I'll fix it. I'll click on F4 on the keyboard. F4, you see it has been fixed. I'll put a comma. Now the second one tells us row. Row just, we want to just pick values under this Abia. So I'll just click 1. Now the next one, I'll put a comma. The next one is telling me columns. Now this column depends on when Abia is actually picked, or Adama, or Akwa Ibom. So this way we're going to use the match. So just follow me. So we'll just press the match, then we'll open our bracket. So for match, now the lookup value is actually, this lookup value is means the state selected, because the state we're going to be selecting are all from this particular place, on this row. So the state selected is, let's say this is the place we're going to be selecting the states. I'll click on this, then I'll actually fix it. Then the next one, I will just put a comma. Now the lookup array is all the states we have. So all the states, so I'll just click on this Abia, shift and control, because it's all shift and control, arrow right, because I want to copy everything. Then I will fix it, just press F4 on the keyboard. Then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a comma. It's telling me this kind of match that I want, exact match, which is 0. I'll hit 0. Then when that is done, I'll close my bracket. But because remember what I said before, that offset and match, there is a difference of 1. So for that reason, we're going to put -1, put a comma. Now when we put -1, it's now telling us the it's telling us the height. Now what it means is this: for in this particular data, I told us the state with the highest local government is Kano. So for that reason, whenever you're actually working on your own, you take your time, look at all the columns, and look at the column with the highest entries. In this case, Kano has the highest local government, which is actually 44. So I'm going to type 44 because it has the highest, comma. Now the width just means I want to take one item at a time, comma. I'll just place 1. I'll close my bracket. Then if I close my bracket, I can now hit enter. Now if I hit enter, observe something. Akwa Ibom, I'm saying Abak. Now if I change it from Akwa Ibom, I change it to Anambra. Okay, this is Anambra. Okay, this is Anambra. I'm saying Agota. You see, it's changing. Now the same thing, if I change it from here to Borono, it's changing to, where is this? Borono. Okay, Abadam, and so on and so forth. So our formula is actually working. So for us to get it again, I'll take it to this place. Look at my formula. You can actually rewind the video and follow my step gradually. You will get perfectly what I'm saying. One thing is very important: whatever you are doing, take note of the list with the highest entry. In my case, Kano has the highest local government, which is 44. That was why here is 44. So whatever you are doing, going to be the same thing except for this point. So at this point, I'm going to copy this formula. I'll cut rather, Ctrl X. I've cut it. Then at this particular point, at this particular local government, I'll come to data again. I'll paste it for my data validation. The formula, I'll just click on list under socks. What I just copy now, what I cut just now, I'll paste. I'll click on paste. So what it means now is this: for Borono, it's in Borono now. This is Borono. If we click on it, it's showing us, let's scroll up, it's showing us the list of local government under Borono, Abadam, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So you can just pick one. So if we change this, let's say Delta. Let me just pick states that are actually close to us. I mean, when I mean close to us, within our view, or we can actually shift it here. It's just for the purpose of understanding. I brought this data set here. Now, supposing we pick the last state, let's just pick the last state. Let's pick the last state, Zamfara. So these are the local governments under Zamfara. Let's pick the first one, which is the first one is Anka, something like that. So if I go to the last one now, you will see that this is the first one, Anka, and so on and so forth. Now let's check the list with the highest local government, which is actually Kano. If I take it to Kano, where is Kano? If I take it to Kano, sorry, I think I missed. Okay, Kano. Then click here. You will observe I have all the local government. Now you will observe something. For other states, I have a space downward. What I mean by this, let me just pick this one. If I come to this place, you will see I have a space. This space, the reason is because we have the highest local government, which was 44, and not all of them have up to 44. That's why I have this space. There's a formula to actually remove all the space, but for the purpose of simplicity, I'm not going to be using that formula to remove all the space. So my major emphasis is for us to understand how to do advanced data validation using a drop-down list. So I trust you understand how this actually works. Now, from what I just said, I made this kind of simplified in such a way that the data set we're actually using is on the same sheet. I mean, on the same sheet. Now, but when you work with some files at times, you don't need this data set on this sheet. It could be somewhere on that separate sheet. So for that reason, I'm going to rush to do something. State of origin and this Control C just to copy. Let's come to a new sheet to do something. I'll just paste this. Let me just do this. So now let's assume I'm working on a separate project. Now at this point, I want to put my state of origin and local government of origin dependent, just the way I've done so far. I don't want to bring the data set here, just something of this nature. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to this state of origin. Now where I have the other sheet where I have my data set, which is this one, is somewhere here. So I'll just come to, where is the guy I'm working with? Okay, here. Now my data set is on sheet 3. This sheet 3 is somewhere else. So I'll just come to this state of origin. Let's take it again, all over again. Come to data validation, click it, come to this one. Then any value will change it to list. From list source, we'll go to the sheet where we have our data set. Click on it. State from Abia, shift and control arrow right to copy everything. Then we'll hit on OK. So it actually is working perfectly. Now the next one is our formula. This is where you have to be very, very careful. Now let's do it again. The next thing we just equals to, let's type it somewhere here, offset, open our bracket. The reference is the starting state. Take note, I see the reference is the starting point. So the starting point now, observe what is going on here. The starting point now, I'll come to the sheet I have my data set, is this one. Let me just scroll left to pick the first state, which is this one. Now this one, I'm going to fix it, F4, then I'll hit comma. Now the next one is my rows, which is just comma 1. I'll put my 1 comma. The next one is the column. I'm going to use the match at this point, the match. Then I'll open my bracket. The lookup value is the state selected. Take note, nothing is here now. The state selected, I'll come to where I'm actually working. The state selected is this one. Then I'll fix it, comma. Then the next one will be the lookup array. The lookup array is all the states. So I'll come to where I have all the states. This is where I have all the states. From Abia, shift control arrow right, I'll fix it, then I'll put a comma. Then when I put the comma, exact match, which is after 0, I'll close the bracket, -1, because of the difference between match, offset and match, -1. Then the next one I'm going to remember the highest local government in my own case, that is the height. Now the highest local government is actually 44. Then comma, I'll put 1, I just need 1 at a time, then I'll close the bracket. So at this point now I can just, okay, let's hit on enter. If we hit on enter, you see Anambra is giving us the first local government. Now let's check if Anambra is this, because I don't know. Anambra, let's go to this place. Anambra, Agota were actually correct. So come to this particular sheet where we are working. If you observe, in this case now our data set is not here. I did the first one so that we can actually be seeing and understand what I'm doing. So in this case now, just come to this point, highlight it, highlight everything, Control X to cut. Then I'll come to, just click outside again, go back again, come to data, under data validation, you see, then any value, change it from any value to list, come to this place, Control V to paste. Okay, so it's working. Now let's check. If we scroll, it's empty because Anambra is not up to 44. I trust you understand that now. Take it up. So you see Agota just pick. If we check another state again, we'll have Benue. Under Benue, we can just come to this place and just pick. So that is how it works.
Trust you are able to learn one or two things in this lesson. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Data Crafting Lab. Click on the notification bell. When I drop a new video, you get notified. Give us a thumb up when you like any of our videos. If you want us to work on any of the videos for you, kindly drop that in the comment section. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.